Welcome back to the podcast, guys. We are going to get into a topic, and this topic is affecting pretty much everybody nowadays. And that topic is, why is dating so difficult in 2023? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we have 6 points for this video, so let's go through them one by one. Why is dating so hard in 2023? The first one is this illusion that we have plenty of options, and this is true for both men and women. Between social media and dating apps, it seems like you have endless options because you could swipe on new profiles every single day. You could scroll through thousands of Instagram profiles, and like you're always thinking to yourself, like, "Oh, what's next? What maybe somebody better will come along?" Look, and it's just like you could really get stuck in that type of a mindset and loop indefinitely if you think about it. No, and that's why you're hearing, "I don't want to settle." You do hear that from both men and women. I think women say it more, but I think men also are afraid to settle when it comes to looks. So this is why.
I think there's too many options more on the women's side than for the guy side.
Oh, yeah.
Guys have a few options. Let's say they're on Tinder or on Bumble, or even talking to, 2 or 3 women on Instagram. Fine, maybe one. It's really not many compared to women that have dozens upon dozens of guys talking to them. Women are hypergamous, so they're looking for the best guy, and they're always looking to date higher. So if they see a guy that they're talking to, and then they start talking to another guy, and he's better off than the guy they were originally talking to, then they're going to pay more attention to the guy that they have higher interest in.
And the proof that that's true, if anybody's thinking like, "Oh, where are we getting this from?" The proof that that is true is who breaks up with who most of the time. The woman usually breaks up with the guy. Who divorces most of the time? The woman divorces most of the time because she's trying to get something better. They're never satisfied. There's always another option. Oh, maybe that guy makes more money. Oh, he's better looking. He's going to treat me better.
Gotcha, bitch.
That's what happens.
And this is never going to stop. There's always going to be too many options. It's just one of those things that it's just occurring. And another reason is because social media. Social media is one reason why dating is a big problem in 2023. I mean, you have all those options, and all those options are at the end of your fingertips on your iPhone, right? Or whatever phone you use. And that's Instagram and Facebook and Tinder and Bumble. And again, we've mentioned that before, but why is dating hard at this point in time? That's the reason why. It's just too much access, and social media, those are the platforms that are giving you that access.
And it serves as a method of like validation for women, whether it's, getting DMs and likes on Instagram or seeing how many guys swipe on their pictures. It's a form of validation, and I could see why it would be addicting on the female's part. So that's just contributing to it. They're never gonna be satisfied when they know there's more. The next guy's gonna message them or like, "Oh, how many more likes can I get?" Let's move on to point number 2. Expectations are set too high. This kind of goes hand in hand with number 1.
Well, yeah. So expectations being too high. Women say that they want the simple things, but at the end of the day, women want to be taken out to fancy restaurants. They want the fanciest gifts, purses, and perfume, whatever it is, the greatest vacations, maybe even bigger presents, bigger than that. But as far as just, keeping it at basic dating here, those are some of the big things that women want. I mean, you can't take a woman out to Starbucks without her complaining nowadays, which we talked about before as well.
I think the root cause of all this is women have gotten so much free, undeserved attention that they've lost respect for it. It's kind of lost its value. That's why there used to be a time where if you took a woman out on a date and brought her flowers, it was like impressive. And then nowadays it really means nothing. Taking a girl out, even if you were to take a girl out to an expensive restaurant, she's not very invested by it. To her, it's just like, "Oh, another one of these. Yeah, let's go get dinner." So I think the reason they set their expectations so high is because they've gotten already so much free attention and different experiences. How many women you see nowadays flying around to different countries and stuff, which some guy's paying for most of the time. So it's going to raise the bar because once they've had previous experiences, the future ones have to be better, more expensive, higher end. You get what I'm saying? So, and it's the same thing with dating. I think as they go through their guys, it's been said so many times, they're going to be hypergamous. They're going to always want somebody better. Like no female is going to look at their next guy and go like, oh, I'll get somebody that makes less than the last one, or you know what, I got flown to Dubai last time. Let me take a trip to Florida this time. No, they want something better and better each time.
And going off of the too many options that we spoke about, because they have that many options, it's really going on these dates with men and having high expectations and figuring out, well, what can I get from this guy? Because maybe this guy will give me a dinner, maybe another guy will give me a vacation, maybe another guy will buy me a purse. So it's always, what can I get from this guy, and not valuing the man for someone who she can actually date. For that person, for a man who she can take seriously in the future. That's the problem. They're not valuing the person. They're only valuing
Exactly
what they can get from the person.
And that's why even like the term like dating the right person, it's been like lost in translation. Like it's hard to define nowadays with what social media and dating apps have done. It's like, what does that person even look like? Let's move on to point number 3. Why dating is so hard.
So dating is hard also because of society and society standards. Now the thing is that society typically expects men and women to, they date and then they get into more of a serious relationship, and then they get engaged, and then they get married, and then they have kids and a house and all this stuff. And people are worried about meeting society's expectations. Now, the thing is that both men and women should focus on themselves and not worry about what society thinks of them. Because if you're worried about what society thinks of you, whether it's in dating or anything else, you're letting society run your life. And if you have society running your dating life and it's not going well, then it could be running your dating life into the ground. And that's something that you don't want.
Yeah, this is kind of a complicated one because society always is going to pressure you in one or another direction. And like you said, for the most part, it was always like get married and have kids and buy a house and buy a dog. And it was just this like American dream. And now we live in a time where it's like it's completely different. But society can also kind of like complicate things because what's happening, we've said it before, women are kind of being pushed to be more independent, make their own money. They're kind of bashing guys now. On the other end, men are getting frustrated with women. So it's like society can kind of sometimes like have good intentions and it creates a shitstorm. So right now, at least with dating, I think the certain standards that society has set are not necessarily for the best when it comes to dating, because independence is big now. And then I think women now are just saying like, screw guys altogether. I'm just going to do my own thing until the right guy comes along or somebody of my worth comes in, so it's giving them, again, like we said before, high expectations, and they're just raising the bar to a point where like most guys can't compete.
I'm going to keep this point short and sweet to close it out. Follow your own mindset moving forward. Don't worry about what society thinks of you.
Yeah.
Especially guys out there. Don't worry about what society thinks, because if you worry about what society thinks, what other people think, and you don't adhere to those expectations, you're going to be frustrated. And, that's going to really put you down. So don't let the society guide your life in general. The fourth one is you never know who you meet. You never know what type of person you'll meet. What are your thoughts on that?
So this kind of goes hand in hand with number 1, plenty of options. So I think in general, both men and women are kind of like, you're always interested in saying like, who's the next person that may come into your life? Who am I going to meet through my friends or online or like, so it kind of delays you wanting to get into a relationship altogether. If you really think about it, you know what I mean? Even if somebody was to come into your life tomorrow, a part of you is going to be like, oh, well, maybe I'll meet someone different or better, or like you don't really want to get tied into anything too permanent or serious. So I think that's pretty much what I get at that point.
From that point, what I get is you never know who you meet. You don't know if the person you meet until obviously you get to know them a little bit more and more as you date more and more. You don't know if they're good. You don't know if they're bad for you. You don't know if they're going to bring value into your life. There are certain things that you don't know what'll happen with this person. And nowadays, both men and women, I would say more women, aren't as patient. If there's one negative thing about a guy that they just don't want to deal with or that puts them off, they're going to ghost him. They're going to leave him high and dry. And that guy won't know why. And it'll be frustrating because that guy may have put, all of his eggs in that one bucket by really trying to take this girl out, treat her well, and give her things before it even got serious. So you never know who you meet. You have to have your expectations low nowadays, especially men, what you're looking for in women. Don't set the bar too high because nowadays many women are just totally lost.
Without a doubt. And I remember we did a video on this at one point where we said, like, is there such thing as the one? And watch that video if you go back. We did it like a month or two ago. You'll see what we have to say about that. There really is no the one. That's just a dream that's been sold to us through movies and shows. Let's go to the next one.
The next one, and we spoke about it briefly before, is social media. So what are your thoughts on social media that you didn't say before?
Social media has created a completely different culture. What do women want to do now? They just want to show off. They take pictures and makeup and travel and post a picture in Greece and in Miami. And it's just like, what's the purpose of it? It's all just to get free attention. It's an addiction. Not everybody. I mean, I know not all women do it, but especially the more attractive ones. That's what the whole thing is. It's just they're feeding their own ego. It makes them feel more powerful. It makes them feel more attractive and needed. And they could get addicted to that and do it well into their 30s. So.
Yeah, and I pretty much said what I said before. Social media gives a platform for too many options, and too many options it'll drive someone crazy. It'll drive, whether it's a guy or a girl, it'll drive them crazy with who to pick, who's the best one. And
humans are not very good at having too many options in general. No. That's why when you go to a restaurant, if you've ever been to a restaurant where they have 5 pages of too many different there's this many chicken, fish, and beef, and then there's you look at it and you're like, I just want to eat.
What do I pick? What do I pick?
I just want to get food.
Exactly. So all of these pretty much give mostly women towards men a lack of commitment, and it's sad. That's why dating is so difficult in 2023. It's just with all these things happening, it's just tough. I don't foresee it getting any better. We've already discussed the statistics in the past about, how that's going to be in the future. And you can only improve yourself. If you can improve yourself, that's one more person that's going out into the dating world that's impacting the dating world in a positive way. And, according to the Pew Research Center, 47% of Americans say that dating 10 years ago is easier than dating in 2023.
Not surprised.
It's harder now to date, and it shouldn't be, because now we have so many resources and so many ways to meet people and so many opportunities to meet people. But the way it's been constructed has just taken a negative turn. So if you change yourself, if you focus on yourself, don't worry about anything else, and your mindset and you're positive, dating will go right for you.
See you guys on the next one. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.
Subscribe to the channel, guys. Peace.